Welcome in to I Remember My First Time.
Oh, yes.
Oh, don't be nasty, Jacob. Not that first time.
Damn it.
This is a podcast about cinematic awakenings,
All right, I like the sound of that, though.
where we talk about the movies we love with someone who just popped their cherry to that movie.
Oh my gosh, I love a good cherry pop.
Jacob, are all the movies we do on this podcast going to be good movies?
God, I hope not.
Do we like shitty movies?
We love shitty movies. Sometimes even more than good movies.
Are we critics?
Absolutely not.
But do we love movies?
Oh, we love the shit out of movies. And this week's masterpiece, the 1993 classic, coming at you right at the start of baseball season, per request of our host BJ.
Great time of year.
The childhood wonderment movie of the decade,
Wow.
The Sandlot.
Wow. The Sandlot. What a great movie.
Oh, it's so good. I forget how good this movie is every time until I watch it.
Jacob, you're killing me, Smalls.
BJ, you play ball like a girl.
I am s'mores aficionado, BJ Leica.
Joined as always by me, Jacob Ickes. And I am less than a god, but definitely more than a man.
Well, The Sandlot, described by IMDb as in the summer of 1962, a new kid in town is taken under the wing of a young baseball prodigy and his rowdy team, resulting in many adventures.
Okay. Not bad.
7.8 out of 10 has an IMDb score for this movie.
Okay, not the worst.
64% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Too low.
And, are you ready for this?
No.
A 55% Metacritic score.
Oh, fuck the critics.
For one of the best kids movies ever made.
Let me guess. Let me just throw out a wild guess, since most critics are pretentious assholes. It wasn't an Oscar movie?
The big thing I got from glancing through the reviews is number one, it was too nostalgia based, and number two, it was immature and not very funny.
First of all, it was hilarious. Second of all, of course it was immature. It was based around 12 to 13-year-old males. There is not one non-immature 12 to 13-year-old male. They don't exist.
Oh, were they that old? I thought they were like 9 to 12.
No, they were 12 to 13.
Okay.
And what was the other one?
Too nostalgia based, yes.
Whatever. When you put nostalgia in an adult movie, everybody fucking loves it. You're gonna hate it on a kids movie? Shut up.
And like saying this movie is too nostalgic is like saying a horror movie is too scary.
Yeah.
So, of those critics, do you think Roger Ebert was one of them that gave it a super low review or no?
I don't think so.
Roger Ebert gives this movie 3 out of 4 stars.
Knew it. Roger likes, for the most part, Roger likes movies that don't pretend about what they are.
And this is a really good review. With knowing what that Metacritic score is and then hearing Ebert's thumbs up review is one of the reasons he's the best.
Let's hear it.
If you've ever been lucky enough to see A Christmas Story, you'll understand what I mean when I say The Sandlot is a summertime version of the same film.
Nice.
He goes on and says, All of the events are told in an original, quirky, off center, deliberately exaggerated way. This is not your standard movie about kids and baseball. It's so unconventional, it doesn't end with the Sandlot team winning the big game. It's about growing up and facing your fears.
Yep.
These days, too many children's movies are infected with the virus of winning, as kids are nothing more than underage pro athletes. I'd put this in here for you. And the values of Vince Lombardi prevail. It's not how you game, but whether you win or lose.
Go Pack, go, baby. Every football season, there's so many good football memes, but my favorite one was after my rivals, the Minnesota Vikings, lost in the playoffs. It was a picture of Kirk Cousins, and it said, "The Vikings hate the Packers so much they refuse to win the Lombardi Trophy."
That's a cursed franchise, man. That is a cursed franchise up there in Minnesota.
I know. It sucks to be one.
And Ebert just ends the review. This movie had seduced me with its memory of what really matters when you're 12.
Awesome. Thank you, Raj. Thank you, Raj.
But yeah, so he was not one of the critics that didn't like it. And like I said, that review is perfect for why Raj is better than y'all.
100%. 100%. As much as he annoys me sometimes, he's better than all the other critics.
55%. That's crazy.
Enjoy a kid's movie. It's okay. All right. And now the budget. BJ, a little bit of trivia. So the budget was just a small, measly $7 million because you don't need a lot of money to make this movie.
This movie shot in 3 locations.
Yep.
Maybe only 2.
And it brought in double, $14.5 million. So it made its money plus some. And with that being said, I have a little bit of trivia. It's only the 50th highest grossing movie of 93.
So it made 14?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah, it made 14.5, and it's the 50th highest grossing movie of 93. Would have been 70 million today. That's just what I read on IMDb. You know we don't research here.
Yeah. So, what did you think of this movie?
Oh, this movie is incredible. I forget how good it is until I watch it every single time. And then I have the best time in the world. Like normally when I watch movies that for the pod that I've seen before, I will do my trivia research and my good and bad IMDb reviews and the budget. Like I'll do all that while watching the movie. Didn't happen with this one because I had a fucking blast watching it. Like I've seen this movie 10 or 12 times and I'm just like full attention because it's so fun.
I gotta say, I'm a little shocked that you love this movie so much because this is most definitely a vibe movie, and you haven't given vibe movies a super high score.
Yeah, I'm not big on vibe movies, and I don't really like baseball movies.
This is barely a baseball movie.
No, we've been arguing about this all week. I disagree. I disagree hard. This is a baseball movie.
It starts off, and Benny the Jet Rodriguez is stepping right in the middle of the bases when he runs. That is not how you run the bases in baseball. It's not a baseball movie if you can't get that.
I don't care. They're kids. I don't care.
A 12-year-old that goes on to play in the majors is stepping on the inside corner of the bag when he turns.
It looks good for film, BJ. Fuck you. It's a baseball movie. Just because we've obviously both seen this movie before, for a first time popping your cherry kind of thing, Nima was super excited to watch this movie, which I was very surprised that one, she was excited, and two, she had seen it. And I was like, "You've seen The Sandlot? Like, we're talking about the same movie, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, the baseball movie with the dog." And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know how many other movies you can describe that way." So yes,
the baseball movie with the dog. It's only one movie.
yeah. I'm just like, yes, we're talking about the same movie. You've seen The Sandlot? And she's like, yes, I love The Sandlot. It was one of the very few kid movies I watched at the right age after moving to America. So I was in the right age range of watching the movie. And so it hit on all the levels it was supposed to. It was about an American sport, which was nice. And it made me feel like she remembers it being one of the first really American things she experienced herself.
This movie is heavily rooted in Americana.
Yeah. So
heavily rooted.
Yes. So she was very excited, and rightly so. I thought that was a cool story.
I'm shocked that she saw it, because this would have came out like 5 years before she was born.
Correct. And I just want to say, further defends my point that it's a baseball movie, but I digress. I'm just saying there's a reason you wanted to do this on the opening of baseball season.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Because it's a fucking baseball movie.
And it does, because it is a lot of the myth and aura around baseball that's in it, more than the actual baseball. But I'm ready for opening day. Let's bring it on.
Let's do it. So tell me your feelings about the movie. I went on for a while.
Oh no, it's a great movie. It's definitely a kids movie. It's a great summer movie too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're doing it at the start of baseball. This is a great, kids just got out of school. It's time to hang out with your friends and get in some trouble in the summer.
Is your oldest old enough to enjoy this movie?
Yes.
Nice. Has he seen it yet?
Yeah, he has. He told me he actually likes the second one better, which, I mean, he's 6. The second one's trash.
Did you commit child abuse when he said that and just slap him against the wall?
No, I rolled my eyes and said, "Go to your room."
Yeah, there's a reason you're a parent and I'm not.
What'd you like about this movie?
Everything. The pacing was good. The acting by the child actors were good. The story was good. I enjoyed, like Roger Ebert said, you either had this childhood or you fucking wish you did. And
yeah,
it can't be said better than that, because I fucking wish I did.
I more or less had it. It wasn't, I didn't have 9 people we were playing baseball with, but there was about 4 or 5 of us in the neighborhood, and we played little 4 or 5 man baseball games.
Nice.
So I had a obviously not in 1962 and all that, but I had a similar childhood, and yeah, the nostalgia is strong in this movie, and it's the best part of this movie is the nostalgia.
I recently finally figured out why I don't like baseball. It's because when I was this age, learning, or not when I was this age, I was like 8. So even earlier, no one's good at baseball at 8. But
no.
I lived in East Texas when I was 8, and all the kids grew up together, all their parents grew up together, so on and so on. Redneck Riviera. And parents are shitty, and we didn't rotate positions, and my ass was always in the outfield. And nothing happens in the outfield when you're 8.
No, the outfield is absolutely useless until you're like 11.
So this movie also made me just like, this is what I missed out on. Like a nice sport that everyone's relatively good at when they're in high school.
Yeah, and the beauty of baseball is you don't have to be great at it. Everybody's getting the same amount of at-bats. Depending on what position you're playing, everyone's getting the ball hit to them. It's a great sport in that sense.
Yeah. Anything you didn't like about the movie?
Not necessarily that I didn't like the baseball. I feel like they should have been better baseball players.
They were 12.
Dude, some of those swings are kids who clearly never played baseball until they got the role for this movie. You can find 12-year-olds with decent swings.
But maybe not 12-year-old actors with decent swings.
Yeah, because they're too busy acting. But
yeah, exactly.
I also this movie is essentially two parts, right? It's the baseball friendship part, and then the getting over your fears and facing the dog. And that change happens like a good hour into this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I much preferred the first half over the second half. I much preferred the baseball stuff over the big dog. Not that that's bad. Not that the big dog part's bad, but I enjoy the first hour of this movie way more than the last 45 minutes.
Yeah, the first hour of this movie is a 10 out of 10. The last 40 minutes is a 7 or an 8.
That's about what I would go with.
Yeah.
That's where we get deep into this movie.
How deep, BJ?
I'm not going to say it. Not for a kid's movie.
I'll say it for a kid's movie. We're getting balls deep.
So I'm going to do my Rushmore a little different. You told me that you were basically lying, cheating, and stealing on every scene. So
yeah,
I was like, great.
I'm Eddie Guerreroing the shit out of this episode.
So I was like, great. I'm just going to go with my favorite little nostalgia childhood moments.
Wait, BJ. There's too much nostalgia in this movie already. Are you sure this is how you want your Mount Rushmore to be?
I'm positive.
Okay.
These are all little moments. So mine will be relatively short. So I'm going to start off with my fourth favorite moment. The back and forth insults between Ham Porter and the actual Little League organized team.
Mm-hmm.
Such childish insults. You always had the one kid in your group. In my case, it was generally me, who was tasked with, telling people that their mama's so fat that when she wears yellow, people think they should get on the school bus.
Mm-hmm.
And it just brought back memories, the real shitty back and forth one-liners they were zinging at him, ending with, and you play ball like a girl.
Oh, incredible insult for a 12-year-old kid. The two that I have written down from that scene, because this one pops up in my Mount Rushmore, because how could it not?
Of course.
Is if my dog was as ugly as you, I'd shave his butt and tell him to walk backwards.
Incredible.
Incredible. And is that your sister out there naked in left field? I think those are during the actual baseball match, but so great.
Go ahead with your fourth favorite scene, Jacob.
My fourth favorite scene starts with I can't live. You should never let me live this down as long as we decide to do this podcast. But it's the intro with the narration about, him talking about what's going to happen with this summer and being there all alone. And I loved him walking out to the Sandlot and just straight up telling himself, "Don't be a doofus." I loved all the kids laughing at him throwing the ball.
I'm pretty sure the only person I've ever heard say the word doofus is my dad.
It's a very dad word.
Yeah.
And this kid is, what do weird old people call it? Old soul. He's an old soul.
Oh, he's a very old soul.
I love just the little bit of Dennis Leary we got in this movie, teaching him to play catch and just really being annoyed by it.
Yeah. If you're ever a parent, you will know that feeling where it's like it's throwing a baseball. Like it's so second nature to us.
Yeah.
And a kid has no idea. They have no idea how to grip it, how to bring it back, when to release it. And it's just like, what are you doing? It's throwing a baseball.
Yeah, it's really not that fucking difficult. And then I take this through him.
So we
going
gotta mention the steak right on the eye, right?
Oh, have to, because how 60s is that?
Is that still a thing when kids get hurt? Do they go to the freezer and just grab whatever the hell is in the freezer and put it on them, or does everybody have ice packs now?
I think everyone has ice packs now because no one wants to put raw meat on their face. I know.
Where do you take it through? Where do you take this thing through? Sorry, I had to bring up the raw steak.
You're good, and I loved. Not I loved. I take it through him meeting the crew because Benny brings them on, and they're doing the Babe Ruth nicknames, and he's like, "Bambi, who? You mean the deer?"
That sissy deer. Ham Porter is putting on a hell of a performance in this movie. Neither of us mentioned that we liked about it, but like that goes without saying, right?
I mean, it has to. He might be the best child actor in the movie, and he's putting on a clinic.
He makes the movie,
and I take it through him playing with them the first time and running the ball up to the pitcher. Right after that happens, Nima goes, "This is me trying to learn American sports." And then I end the scene with Benny letting him keep his glove and the hat.
That's a sweet moment. That's a super sweet moment.
Yeah.
Where he's like, "You're in the gang." It's like, "I know those other guys don't like you too much. I don't care. I'm the leader. You're in the gang."
Yeah, so I had to end it there because how do you not? Like, you're in the gang. Let's get this movie going.
My third favorite little moment is Ham Porter making the s'mores and describing how to make the perfect s'mores.
Yes.
When you're a kid, you're so excited to teach when you know the perfect way. And this scene also begs a question. I know I like my marshmallows this way. Is burnt marshmallows a fat person thing?
You asked me that earlier, and I think so.
Let us hear from you on social media if burnt s'mores is just a fat person thing or if everybody likes burnt s'mores.
Yeah, because I'd like to know. My third favorite scene is your fourth little bit where they have the little showdown between the actual baseball team and their baseball team.
Yeah.
And then they go and actually do the match. And then I take it through them going to the city fair and chewing the tobacco.
That scene still gets me queasy because we've all put in a big old plug the first time and threw up, right?
Oh my gosh. I remember the first time I did it, I was driving out to East Texas. I still was driving my little 1990 Chevy pickup. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy some dip. And I pulled over, bought some dip. And got in my truck, put it in, started driving. About 15 minutes later, and I didn't swallow one bit. I made sure to spit every little bit out. About 15 minutes later, I emergency stopped the car, pulled that lip out, had to rush inside to this gas station to shit my ever-loving brains out. While fighting down acid reflux. It was horrible. I couldn't imagine being at a city fair and getting on a ride.
Those kids were so excited to put that chaw in, man. Love that scene. Love that scene. That is an absolute classic scene.
Okay, you're number two.
So I don't think most people would think of this, but when Ham Porter hits the ball over the fence and everyone's pissed at him, they're throwing their gloves at him, and he doesn't care because he just knocked a dinger, and by God, he's getting around those bases. Because again, in my childhood, this has happened to me a couple times, not a lot. I was never the biggest power hitter, but you'd go out with one ball, and someone would hit that ball over the fence into someone else's backyard, and we're like, "Oh, Everyone's pissed at you, and you're like, I don't care. I just hit a fucking home run. Fuck you. I love that.
The classic Stone Cold "fuck you." Like,
I had my thumbs down. I love that scene so much. Like I said, because I've been in that situation, and just like Cam Porter, I'm like, I don't care.
I did it, baby. My number 2 scene is pretty much the last 40 minutes of the movie.
Because that's all kind of one scene, right?
Yeah. For me, you brought up, was the last 40 minutes kind of like a horror movie?
Yeah, almost like a horror parody in a way.
See, and I get that thinking back on it, but you know what I thought at the time, especially specifically the showdown with the dog? I got Western vibes.
I like because it's a big showdown, good guy versus bad guy. You know the good guy's gonna win. You just don't know how.
Yeah, and I guess just the way it was shot, like I don't know, because I like when I think back on it with what you said, the horror trope makes more sense than the Western trope. But while watching the movie and doing this podcast and thinking of doing the podcast while watching the movie, for some reason I thought Western. But I loved all the different ways they tried to get the ball back. I love the PF flyers that Benny was wearing. Like, I want a pair of PF flyers, and I own a pair of Chucks. Like, they're the same fucking shoe, but
yeah,
I want a pair of PF flyers.
My favorite plan was the vacuum cleaner plan.
Yes,
where they had hooked up like the 4 vacuums together, and when the little brother just comes out just covered in dust as everyone is just comically jumping off of the clubhouse.
So great. My favorite try was them suspending Yaya down and to try to, and I was like, really?
What a dumb idea. At that point, just jump the fence, man.
I know. But what would 12-year-old boys be doing if they didn't have an absolutely horrific, dumb idea?
That's true.
Okay, your number 1 small moment.
This was clear, far and above. This is such a great moment when they're playing under the 4th of July fireworks. It's beautifully shot. It's heartwarming. And I know all of those kids, even when they're 40 years old, every one of their favorite holidays is 4th of July because of that, because of them doing that every year, playing baseball under the fireworks. Even when they're 40, it's their favorite holiday.
100%. My number 1 matches up with a lot of your Mount Rushmore. So my number 1 starts with Ham Porter pointing out like Babe Ruth and knocking the ball out of the fucking park.
Yep.
Like, how could it not be? And I run it into the camp out in the s'mores. Would you like a s'more? How can I have some more of something if I've had nothing at all? I just got here. That was another thing that Nima brought up, just how different American words. And she's like, that's me with the word s'mores. Like, I thought the same thing the first time I heard that name. So it's an actual thing that happens for kids. Like, what the fuck? I thought the Beast horror story was fantastic.
It was really good.
And we have those things that we do, right? Like, my best example is anytime I can say a 1-word sentence with the word exactly, I try to say it as much like Dwight as I can. When I have to say the word forever by itself or repeat, I have to move my lips the same way that actor does. Forever. Loved it. And then I take it through the pool scene and Wendy Peppercorn.
So let me just say this about the pool scene. It has a reputation of aging poorly. I disagree.
I do too. It was a great scene. There's nothing wrong with it.
Because it's goofy, over-the-top kids.
Correct.
Like, I get it. You're tricking a woman into kissing you. Yes, that's not right. But these are goofy kids in the summer with nothing better to do than come up with this stupid ass plan.
And another thing that makes it just a little bit better is they're clearly 3 or 4 years younger than Wendy Peppercorn. Like, I don't know why that makes it better in my head, but it does. Like, it feels less taken advantage of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to sound horrible, but that's how I feel.
And like I said, I feel bad by being like, look, it doesn't age that poorly, but I got to say what I think. And yes, obviously, taking advantage of a woman, tricking her, is wrong. But
100%.
in the case of a stupid ass 12-year-old boy who has nothing better to do all summer, I didn't think it aged as poorly as its reputation.
I agree. We can die on this hill together. And I end my final number one theme with the 4th of July night game.
It's so beautiful.
It's so good. I told you that I cheated hard on my Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, you mentioned the entire movie in that Rushmore.
I know. There was no way I couldn't do it.
So
is it character breakdown now?
Well, so I originally wasn't going to do an overarching discussion, but
okay.
1993, an incredible movie year, an even more incredible movie year for kids' movies.
Do you have some small example on why this is the 50th highest grossing movie of 93? Because it should be higher.
Yeah, well, Jurassic Park's number 1.
Okay.
The Fugitive is number 2.
The Fugitive, that's
Tommy Lee Jones.
That's right.
Here are the kids' movies that had higher box office grosses in 93 that grossed more than The Sandlot. Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, God, that was 93?
Yep. Great child divorce movie.
Yeah. Of course it is. Being a child of divorce, that was perfect. And, of course, that made more money than this.
Aladdin, in my opinion, the best Disney movie.
Okay.
Free Willy. Rookie of the Year.
I hate Free Willy.
Yeah. Rookie of the Year. The Sandlot was not even the highest grossing kids baseball movie of 1993.
Rookie of the Year is Dennis Quaid?
No, that's just the rookie. Rookie of the Year is the kid from American Pie who breaks his arm and can throw like 104.
Okay, whatever. Never even heard of it. Keep going.
Dennis the Menace.
Okay.
Podcast alumni, Last Action Hero.
Hell yes.
Addams Family, Family Values.
Love any Addams Family, anything.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
That made more money than the Sandlot.
Yep. The incredibly sad Homeward Bound.
I've seen that movie so many times. I love that movie. Hocus
Pocus.
Okay.
Home Alone 2, which came out in like late December and grossed more than The Sandlot.
Jeez. Home Alone 2 is a good fucking movie.
That's a solid year of kids' movies right there.
I would have loved to have been like 8 or 9 years old, 12 in 93. Like, what an incredible run of kids' movies.
Yeah. You could argue Jurassic Park's a kids' movie, too.
Sure.
Kids are seeing it anyway. But, you ready to break down characters?
Hell yes.
This is good, because we hadn't brought up the characters that much. I guess we got to start with Smalls.
Yeah, he's the main guy. He's so awkwardly played by that actor, and very well done, kiddo.
Perfectly awkwardly played.
Mm-hmm.
You probably make all A's and shit, don't you? I made a B once. Well, it was an A-, but it should have been a B.
I'd have been like, shut up, loser. Like, oh my God. I loved how bad he was at baseball.
Oh, yeah, so bad.
I also love just how well things worked out for him.
I also liked that they didn't like show a montage and all of a sudden he's a star. I like how he was still the worst one on the team all summer.
Yeah. Because, like you said, everyone hits a pop fly every once in a while.
Yeah.
His just happened to be on the Babe Ruth ball.
Yep.
Poor kid. Could you, like, your heart immediately in your throat? Like, if you've never experienced anxiety before, that would be the first time.
Yeah, when he's running the bases and realizes it.
He knew before he was running the bases. The anxiety was just sitting in. I mean, the first time he's ever experienced it, for sure. Perfectly played.
I love him calling Dennis Leary dad and whatever his name was back and forth the whole movie. Like he didn't know what to call him.
Yeah, I love that. And you asked me earlier if that's like a thing that like maybe I or my siblings went through. And I said no, only because not my experience, so I don't know for sure. But I think that would be easier to do if your dad died like his dad did.
Oh, okay.
My dad still had first, third, and fourth weekends when there was four weekends in a month. I'm like, sorry, bub, you ain't getting called dad. You're getting called by your first name.
You hear that, Steve? All right, Benny the Jet Rodriguez.
So I just want to be sure. Benny the Jet Rodriguez, completely made up baseball player.
As far as I know. Even in the movie, he didn't seem like he came in to pinch run. He didn't seem like he was, an all-star or anything.
Okay.
So maybe there was a, kind of fourth outfielder on the Dodgers, but as far as I know, that's a made-up name.
I liked him. Wasn't a particularly great actor, but I didn't need him to be. Good-looking kid.
What he did the best was he was super convincing as the leader of the group.
Yes.
Even as much as Ham Porter's putting it in, even, Squints Palladuro being great, there was no question the leader of that group was Benny the Jet Rodriguez. And that's really all he really needed to do as an actor.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I mean, let's go on to Ham Porter.
Best part of the movie.
What can we say that hasn't already been said?
Just a classic role. I don't know what happened to his career. But in this movie, this is like one of the most iconic characters in movie history.
I agree.
And it's a freaking short, stubby, fat kid.
With fucking attitude.
So much attitude.
Squints is your favorite secondary character, isn't he? Like Ham Porter's throwing 100.
Yeah.
But I know Squints is your favorite.
Yeah, Squints is legit.
Yeah, Ham Porter's my favorite, but that's our personality.
Ham Porter's everybody's favorite.
Well, I know, but I'm also that big kid that's got attitude.
Yeah, I would have been the Squints of my group.
For sure. That's why it hit, and that's what I mean. Because, of course, Ham Porter's everyone's favorite. Like, this is the one time in the movie where I get to say that I'm the cool character because I'm not Jim. So let me fucking have it.
The only other character I wanted to touch on, because this is when it comes to Yeah, it was clear he was supposed to be a bigger part of this movie, and I think the director was like, you know what, dude, we're just gonna let Ham Porter cook. Because Ya's got a lot of lines early, and after about 30 minutes into the movie, he almost says nothing.
Yeah, because Yaya's batting at like a 87, 90 maybe. Ham's batting at 100.
Yeah.
Like, you draft the best player available.
Yeah, we're going to give the ball to our best player here.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, here you go, Tony Pollard. Oh, man. That's the only other person I wanted to talk about was Yeah. So we can move on to trivia and facts, everyone's favorite part. So this movie was filmed in 92. You know what movie came out in 1992?
Basic Instinct with Michael Douglas.
Hell yes. Basic Instinct with Michael Douglas came out. And all the young actors snuck into a nearby movie theater to watch the infamous instant classic Basic Instinct.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, the 90s were wild. Just 12-year-olds going in to watch Basic Instinct.
Yeah. Like, that's how you do it.
Did the kids say how disappointed they were that they didn't see Michael Douglas's dick in that movie?
You know what? I didn't see it, but I'm sure they were disappointed because, I mean, we both have been since the day we watched it.
Fucking Michael Douglas.
Show us your dick, Michael Douglas.
Show it. What are you doing?
On. Come on.
That was a great way to start off trivia, Jacob.
There's no other way to start off trivia for our pod. If there's Basic Instinct trivia, it's got to be number one. Period.
Listen to that podcast. It's like our second episode.
It's incredible.
If you haven't listened to it, listen to it.
You'll love it. We don't have our flow down yet. That's what she said. But it's still so good. So the older and younger Benny are played by real-life brothers, Pablo Vittar and Mike Vittar.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. In order to establish the close bond between Smalls and Benny, the director had Tom Gurley and Mike Vittar meet and rehearse together weeks before the rest of the kids showed up to film. It worked so well that the other kids genuinely believe the two actors have been friends for a long time. To this day, Tom Gurley and Mike Vittar remain friends and keep in touch with each other since filming for this movie ended.
So I'm a little late on this comment, but older Benny Rodriguez, great mustache.
Yes, agreed. James Earl Jones also played a baseball enthusiast in the 1989 movie Field of Dreams 4 years earlier. However, in life, he actually hates baseball. The late Arthur LaFleur also starred in the film, too.
James Earl Jones hates baseball, huh?
Yeah, he sure does, apparently.
All right. I didn't expect that.
After Small saves Hercules, he is awarded with several face licks. How they got the dog to lick Tom Gurley's face is that they spread baby food all over his left cheek. Gurley said in an interview they put like a whole jar of Gerber baby food on the side of my face so that scene where I'm looking to the side, the other half of me is just slathered in this baby goo. The dog had a field day on my face. I'm a dog lover, though, so it didn't really bother me. The dog really liked the baby food.
I think the baby food would have bothered me more than the dog.
I think so, too. Actor Tom Gurley hears "You're killing me, Smalls" every time a fan sees him. He said in an interview, "I hear that about 3 or 4 times a day," he says. "I used to hate it, man." He goes, "I used to hate it, man. But I like it now." You hit 30 and you're like, it's cool. It's cool. It's sort of nice that people still appreciate it.
So I just want to become popular enough where when people see us, they just say, "Show me your dick, Michael Douglas."
If we can get there, we've achieved everything in life we've ever wanted. You heard it here. Buy our new t-shirt. Show us your dick, Michael Douglas.
Confuse the shit out of everybody in public.
This is just plain old movie trivia. Director David Mickey Evans had one clear instruction for Chauncey Leprardi during the pool scene when he kisses Wendy Peppercorn. Quote, "Keep your tongue in your mouth."
Wendy Peppercorn is such a fun name to say.
I totally agree.
She keeps that, right? She doesn't go by Wendy Paladura or whatever, right?
Absolutely, she doesn't. She keeps Peppercorn. Every time a scene features Wendy Peppercorn, a song by the group The Drifters is played. The songs are "There Goes My Baby" and "This Magic Moment."
Loved it.
For most of the filming, the days were very hot. However, during the filming of the pool scene, It was overcast and the water was 56 degrees. All the kids were extremely cold and could be seen shivering. Before Squints pretends to drown, you can see his teeth chattering for real.
They did look a little cold in that scene.
They were a little cold. All of the Sandlot kids are wearing PF Flyers or Converse Chuck Taylors throughout the movie. PF Flyers were brought back for limited time after this movie.
I don't think anybody kids wore anything but those shoes in 1962.
Yeah. Writer-director Dave McKinney has stated that all the child actors had such a wonderful summer working on the film to the point that they considered it the greatest summer of their lives. Duh.
Yeah, of course.
Like
you're
you
filming
said,
a movie with your bros, basically.
Yeah. In 1998, Michael Polidorus sued 20th Century Fox and the producers of the film for defamation. Polidorus, a childhood classmate of director David McKinney Evans, claimed that the character Michael Squints Polidorus was derogatory and caused him shame and humiliation. The trial court found in favor of the filmmakers.
Hell yeah. Yeah, Squints is great. What are you talking about?
Yeah, shut up, Michael Polidorus.
Not my squint. Hashtag not my squints.
Hashtag not my squints. Thank you. During the filming of the chase scene, temperature rose so high that Tom Gurley became so overheated and dizzy he fainted and fell into a cameraman. Bro, acting is wild sometimes. Gurley also said in an interview, I remember one scene. We had to do a lot of running. Oh, this is about him passing out. It's because they were wearing 1960s clothes and they were fucking heavy.
Yeah. Jeans weighing about 6 pounds.
Yeah. After the kids chew tobacco, they fall ill. The vomit used in the ride scene was made from split pea soup, baked beans, oatmeal, a little water, and some movie gel. They used paint guns to discharge it, and they actually nailed a few people in real life by accident. The chewing tobacco was made from beef jerky and licorice. Some of the actors also became sick filming the ride scene.
Beef jerky and licorice is a terrible combination.
That sounds so gross. Why not just make it beef jerky?
Yeah. Oh, that sounds awful.
Just make it beef jerky. Beef jerky works.
Yeah, like maybe put a little olive oil on it to get that sheen.
When the boys are in the pool watching Wendy Peppercorn, the dialogue, she don't know what she's doing, said by Timmy and Tommy Timmons. And the answer, yes, she does. She knows exactly what she's doing, said by Benny Rodriguez, is the same as in a similar scene in the 1967 classic Cool Hand Luke.
All right.
The late Kobe Bryant watched this movie every 4th of July with his family. Not no more, though.
Yep. I mean, I don't know. Like, whatever. He sexually assaulted a woman in Colorado.
Fair. Ham Porter's famous line, "You're killing me, Smalls," is a paraphrase of the famous quote, "They're killing me out here, Whitey," spoken by Denver Broncos coach Lou Saban. The line was also paraphrased the previous year in another baseball-themed film, A League of Their Own. The scene where Squints pretends to drown so he can kiss Wendy Peppercorn is similar to a scene in Friday the 13th where Ned pretends to drown so he can kiss Brenda.
I don't remember that.
I don't either, but I put it in here because podcast alum. The baseball cap that Small wears to his first game with the gang is the same one the adult Smalls wears at the end of the movie, even though Benny told him to burn it.
Yeah. That's an ugly fucking hat.
Benny told him to burn it, and he should have listened.
Yeah.
So my last bits of trivia are baseball and history. Mr. Myrtle, James Earl Jones, shows the boys a photo of himself with Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. Of course, it is a retouch photo. Jones's head was put on the body of Hall of Fame slugger Jimmy Fox, who was the real player pictured with Ruth and Gehrig. The real photo can be seen in many baseball books. In Benny's dream, Babe Ruth says, quote, "I don't know why, but can I have this?" when referring to Hank Aaron's baseball card. Hank Aaron would go on to break Babe Ruth's all-time home run record.
756. It's a Babe Ruth 714.
In the scene at the end when Benny is growing up and playing for the Dodgers, his jersey number is 3, the same number Babe Ruth wore throughout his career. The film ends with adult Benny the Jet Rodriguez stealing home base. Babe Ruth stole home 10 times in his career.
Really?
Is that a lot?
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know, like maybe it's on like past balls and stuff, but
who knows? But I mean, you're surprised by it, so that's incredible.
I've seen 2 Major League Baseball players steal home plate my entire life.
Jeez, that's pretty nuts.
Shout out Elvis Andrus. I hope you're listening.
When Benny gave his Hank Aaron card to Babe Ruth, it was because the Babe's ball meant more to him than the Hank Aaron card. Therefore, he traded the Hank Aaron card in order to purchase the PF Flyers that made him run faster. So that's why that happened. The hat, this trivia is, both of these last bits of trivia are for you, BJ. These are my history trivias. The hat that Kenny is wearing is that of Kansas City Monarchs. The KC Monarchs were a Negro League team active from 1920 to 1965.
Great hat.
Did you know about them already?
Yeah.
Nice. You are a history guy when it comes to sports you like, and you like baseball.
Yeah, baseball is really the only sport that history matters.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, in the 60s in the NFL, the average offensive lineman weighed like 220 pounds. Like, get out of here with the 63 Packers doing shit against any team in the in the NFL today.
Fair enough. And my last bit of trivia, contrary to what was previously stated about Babe Ruth not playing with black baseball players due to Jackie Robinson not breaking baseball's color line until 1947, what the film does not explain is that major leaguers used to brainstorm in the offseason with players from the Negro League. Barnstorm, thank you. Barnstorm in the offseason with players from the Negro Leagues. According to John Holloway, a Negro League historian, Ruth played against Negro Leaguers in Cuba, all over New Jersey, and out west in Kansas City and St. Louis. So, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you knew that.
Yeah. Yeah, baseball's the history of it's interesting, especially, pre-integration.
Yeah, everything was interesting pre-integration. Just like everything was interesting when slavery was legal. It's just an interesting country. So that's my trivia. We have movie impersonations now. What do we have on the docket today?
Get your James Earl Jones voice ready.
Okay.
Baseball. Holy shit, that was bad. Wow. Why didn't you just knock on my door? Is it because I'm black and I still can't drink in the same water fountains as you? Maybe. I don't know. This is the worst impersonation I've done yet.
Smalls. Everything the light touches is for baseball. Baseball is what makes life. Life is what makes baseball. So if you understand, that's what I got. Better than yours.
That's not saying much.
Yeah, yours was the worst one you've ever done. So
welcome to the
club.
By far.
So final thoughts on the movie, BJ. What's your rating?
This is a really good kids. This is a great kids movie. Who am I kidding? But it is a kids movie. I love the first hour so much, and I'm underwhelmed by the last 40 minutes because that first hour is so good. which puts my overall rating at a 8.5. It's still a great movie.
Okay. I was going to go with a 10 out of 10. I want you to know. But because the last 40 minutes of it doesn't even hold a candle to the first hour, I'm going, and I'm getting real specific here because, like I said, I wanted to go 10. I'm going 9.4999. Yeah.
Yeah,
but it has to round down to
just
9.
Not quite a 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great kids movie.
Yeah, it's a great kids movie. Not everybody thought so, though.
Especially the critics, but they can.
But some dumb folks on IMDb thought so, too.
Uh-oh.
But let me tell you about the person who did like this movie. Titled Awesome Movie by Clever_Girl31. This movie is the best ever. It is truly a classic. And I know that because every time I mention the name The Sandlot, people constantly rave about it. Also, when it first came out, it was my favorite movie. And then I saw it again. And then I never saw it again until I bought it 2 weeks ago. And I've watched it approximately 7 times since I got it.
Good Lord. She's watching this movie every other day for 2 weeks.
The Sandlot is a movie I will never get tired of and can literally watch over and over again for sure. This movie keeps me laughing every time, and the more you watch it, the more you'll love it. Definitely one to see.
Awesome.
I just want you to know that over that whole little tidbit, there were probably 15 exclamation marks.
She sounded excited.
She very much was. My bad movie review doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Actually, it does now that I know the critics. These people also judged movies unfairly because they're judging a kids' movie based on movies like The Godfather, it sounds like.
Yeah.
2 out of 10. Titled Joke by Sprockets-13. This film is renowned amongst my group of movie-going friends as the worst movie we have ever seen.
Really? This?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like there's like Sharknado and Velocipaster and hell, Roadhouse.
And Hobo with a Shotgun.
But
Batman
this is...
and Robin.
Okay. And there's no way all of your friends think that way.
Yeah. It is regularly joked about. The mere mention of the title provokes guffaws of laughter. That's another reason I chose this review, because it's really hard for me not to pick something that someone says guffaw in.
Yeah, you used guffaw in a kid's movie in your review. You're no fun.
Yeah. It has become the standard against which all other incredibly bad movies are scored. The friend that selected this one has had, from the night we saw the movie, the reputation of being the worst selector of movies. Try as we may, we have yet to find another movie as bad as this one. Don't do it to yourself unless you want to see a true 1 out of 10. Which makes me think this guy's got to be an idiot, because he scored a 2 out of 10 on IMDb, and it's not that hard.
Yeah, and this movie's way too good to put in the bad movie category.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Yeah, whatever.
And with that being said, people should watch this movie. It's incredible.
Yeah,
if you're a parent, if you're a parent, show your kid this movie if you haven't already.
Yeah, it's a good summer movie, good 4th of July movie, good early baseball season movie. Watch it this summer. Make you feel good.
You're welcome. Yeah. And listen to IRMFT, because while doing The Sandlot, we can say things like balls deep and talk about Michael Douglas not showing us his dick, and, you know.
All in a kid's movie.
Yeah. So you're welcome.
Well, that's us at I Remember My First Time. Don't forget to follow us on social media.
That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We have a Reddit we don't use either. Too,
At
whatever.
IRMFT Pod. We know what we're doing next.
I don't know. It's either Cocaine Bear or Super Bad. It depends when we can make it to the theater.
Yeah. Yeah, we might be a little late on Cocaine Bear, but something tells me it'll be worth it. It's called Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, I've heard all I need to hear. I mean, I've seen the trailer because it was there for Violent Night, which we will have our all-time repeat guest coming on for Cocaine Bear, my brother, David.
You think he's going to take his 11-year-old twin daughters to see this movie too?
Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. And I'm the one that smokes pot. It's the craziest thing. Well, but yeah, we'll see y'all next week for whatever movie we decide to do. Pay attention to our social medias, and you'll figure it out.
Bye.